I'm 34 years old this year, so I've been playing rugby for 24 years of my life. That is more than majority. That's a majority of my life, and that has shaped a lot of how I think and how I behave and what I see, right? So rugby has given a lot to me. I started playing when I was 10. I played all the way in school until I was 16, 17, and then I got selected for the national under-19 squad. That was my first foray and my first chance to wear the Team Singapore jersey. Once I got a taste of that, that was all I wanted to do. I saw the senior men's team training, and all I wanted to do was be able to sing the national anthem and to play for Singapore. So from 17, I went to NS, 18, 19, and then after that, I was in the men's team from 2007 to 2017. Along the way, there are of course ups and downs. Like I mentioned before, I think the different experiences really shape how I see things and I think for me the biggest one for me was my injury in 2014. Those people that know would have been, they hear the story until they are bored really. But yeah, so I fractured my tibial plateau in 2014. Basically the joint surface of my knee cracked and it was fractured, so into fragments and all. So I had to get a metal implant and some screws in my left knee. And the reason why it was such a significant moment for me and a big learning point was a few things: the severity of the injury and the timing. It was not a conventional injury where you tear a ligament, you go through the process of a rehab, you know what's happening, and that's that. For me, it was a question of, hey, can you even run again, or can you even play? Don't even think about rugby. Can you run properly? Can you move properly, right? So those were questions I have because of the nature of the injury, and then the timing of the injury was significant because back then I was in 2014, 2013, I was preparing to really train hard and make a final push for the 2015 SEA Games. That was important because I wanted to so-called take a step back from rugby after that, because I was approaching 30 and I was going to start to think about my career and things like that. So timing-wise, that was significant because from 2007 to 2014, 2015, that was the target, SEA Games. And I had never played a single SEA Games, right? Having been in the national team since 2007, because the opportunities just weren't there. So one of the things I talk about in the podcast were, you talk about getting yourself ready. And as an athlete, that's important. You just get yourself ready. You never know when the opportunities are there because those are things that you can't control, right? You just have to be ready. When the thing comes, it comes. Same thing. So I got myself ready from 2007. 2011 came, no SEA Games. 2013 came, no rugby, no SEA Games, right? So that was it. 2015, bam, home. We are playing at home, SEA Games is on. Okay, everybody got excited. And then injury happened. After injury, I told myself, hey, wow, it's almost impossible because there was literally a year to the SEA Games. And if you know the timeline, a year to the Games means selection happens before that. And for me, that left me about 6 to 8 months to get myself running properly, fit, and able to go for selection, which I almost did. And I went to try for the selection, but of course I was nowhere near 100%. So that 1 or 2 years really shaped a lot of my rugby experiences. I really learned a lot, not just physically, mentally, spiritually as well. So that 1 or 2 years really played a big part. And then after that, my next shot was at the 2017 Games. Again, the 2017 Games, by the time the 2017 Games came along, I was 31 already. And that in sporting age is quite experienced and quite aged. I try not to say old. So leading up to the 2017 games, I mean, there were a lot of question marks about my age, fitness and all that, and then I was training hard. I went for all the tours, went for all the training camps and whatever, and that time I was already managing my full-time job, right? So I had to fight with students who were able to take a bit more time. You know, I had to compete with that, and in the end, I wasn't actually selected for the final squad. When they told me, I cried a little because I knew that was it. I would never play SEA Games. I played for 10 years, no SEA Games, and I thought to myself, that was it. And then on the week of the tournament, the tournament was on Saturday and Sunday. On Tuesday, coach called me and said, hey, one of the guys got injured. We need you to fly down. And I was like, what? This is, I kid you not, I was in a meeting. I excused myself. I went back to my office. I told my boss, and then I threw everything and I went back home to start packing and all that to take a flight down next day. And I didn't even have any attire. I didn't have like my SEA Games kit. I didn't have the training kit and the jerseys and all that. So the next morning I went to Sports Hub. I went to one of the officers. I said, hey, I'm flying down. My manager will call you, but I need some SEA Games attire. So they chucked everything in the bag. I dragged the bag and said, hey, what time is my flight? My flight is in a few hours' time. Okay. Got a bit of time. I did a short gym session, showered, and I went to the airport. And met up with the guys there. And I mean, the rest is history. We ended off with a silver medal. And I managed to retire with 1 SEA Games.